Hey, how's it going? Got a little treat for you here. So, I like the Work Sharp systems a whole lot. Well, let's say you're on a budget. Well, I scoured Amazon for mere minutes, and this was the cheapest complete sharpening stone set that I could find. Of course, it's from HMPLL. It is, proudly or not, made in China. I think when I see that, I think like some Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom sort of sweatshop mine. But anyway, it's carborundum stone. It's not like a fine Arkansas stone or even a Japanese stone. Well, let's see if she gets the job done. I paid, I think, around 25, maybe just under $25. So if you're starting out or you don't have a big budget, then this might be a viable answer. It has a leather strap here. You know, I love me a leather strap. It comes with this. It's looking at the pictures, it's supposed to be a sharpening guide. Um, I think this might be more suited for kitchen knives. All the things I could find online were that this was better for straight knives, like a carving knife kind of style of knife. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. And of course, now we're getting into the meat. Comes with a little rubberized base. It just kind of slides on. It's got a 400 and 1,000 grit stone. So 400 you would use for rough shaping of a blade. 1,000, a few nicks and scratches, and then you'd move up. Let's see what else it comes with here. Yep, and then it comes with another rubber foot and a 3,000 and 8,000 grit stone. They look relatively flat. There's no cracks in the stone. Again, they came well packaged, and I think there's more in here. All right. Comes with a wooden base for these to sit. Oh, that's nice. Nice fit. Pretty impressed. It's got a little bamboo rubber bottom. Let's see here. I'll slide it back here where I don't have the mat. Yeah, a little skiddy, but not too bad. You can probably call that non-skid. At least gives you something to work with. You're not really should be pushing that hard anyway. And of course, it comes with a flattening stone. This was unexpected. We're going to check to see how flat the flattening stone is, and we'll see how flat these stones are out of the box before we start using them. And it comes with this guy here, which I think is a smaller flattening stone. I'll have to look up what this little guy is. I'm not familiar with it. It's fairly coarse on the sides, but it's stone. It looks like it's the same material as this. Just don't know what you'd use it for. But I'll find out and get back to you. Anyway, let me these are wet stones, not oil stones. So you're going to use them with water, not with oil or spit or anything like that. You should probably soak them for about 10-15 minutes before you use them for the first time. You want to make sure you get air bubbles out, and you want to make sure you get them good and lubricated with water. So I'm going to soak these stones, and then we'll check for flatness. All right, we're back. Did a little bit of digging. This thing is a fixed stone, so it's another type of flattening stone. I don't know that I would use this. I'm not sure what grit it is. I might actually try using it to sharpen something. I don't know. I'll set it to the side. I don't think I'm going to use it, though. But hey, it's just bonus. Like I said, this whole thing was right around $25, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. I can't remember. But we're going to sharpen this Buck 285 Bantam knife, made in the USA, and it's about 25 bucks too. So, yeah, Buck USA. So we've been soaking these stones here. Again, you don't have to get fancy here. We're on a budget whetstone. We're using just a dishwasher. We got the stones have been soaking for about 10 minutes. Yeah, maybe a little longer. So we'll compare this flattening stone. Let's just see how flat it is. I got this nice straight edge, and let's just take a look here. You can kind of see I get engagement pretty much the entire way. Try to get down so you can see. Might be tougher. You probably can't see the light. Yeah, maybe a little dish in the center, but not bad. Even along the length, those gaps you see there in the center are just the little depressions in the stone. And that just helps move material away. Yeah, I think this is fairly flat. Now, I'm used to using this this Norton flattening stone. You can tell here, Norton it is not, but I've been using this for 30 years. but I think will get the job done. It looks pretty viable. I wish the grooves were a little deeper. I don't know if you can tell here, but the Norton stone has deeper grooves, and again, this is probably 3 decades worth of wear on it. You can kind of see there. This one has a little bit shallower depressions. Yeah, so it might not last as long, but hey, for 25 bucks, you can get one for each of your cars. Grab one for your brother-in-law for Christmas. Whatever. It's I think a pretty good deal. So we'll check the stones. We'll see if they need to be flattened. I'll put them, I'd rather than use the bamboo base. I'm going to put them in this little waterproof holder, and we're going to check the stones for flatness. Again, the 400 is for really coarse. Let's see how flat this guy is. A little bit of crowning in the middle. Try that off here. Yep. You can see it's a little low on this. It's a little low on this side. And over in this corner. So it's kind of, I don't think that'll make too much of a difference. I wouldn't flatten too much on it. I mean, maybe we will this side, though. Yeah, the 1000 grit is also kind of crowned in the center. So it's wider in the center, just a smidge. And you can maybe see that, how the stone kind of curves upward there on the ends. So definitely see that. I don't think it's that big a deal. If it were my normal stone, I wouldn't give it 2 thoughts, but we're testing this here, and that gives us an excuse to test the flattening stone. Yeah, see, this one's much better. This is the 3000, 8000. And I'm just moving the ruler along here, seeing if I see any daylight. I see a gap right about there in the 8000 stone. Yeah, so fairly flat. I'm pretty impressed for under 25 bucks. Let's take our 400 and I'll show you how to flatten it. I like to just set the stone down, and I'll grab a marker. You want to do this wet. I'm just going to put a couple lines like that, and a couple lines like that. So all I've done is I've just kind of made a grid pattern. You can do wavy lines, whatever you want. I'm an engineer, so I like grids. Then I'm just going to take this flattening stone, and I'm just going to run it around like that. The goal is to remove the high spots. Give it a dunk here, a little dunkaroo. And you can see we still have some grid lines left. It was lower in the ends than it was in the center. So the center, all of our grid lines are gone, but we still have them at the extremities. So we'll just do this a littleit more. Let's go ahead and dunk this again. And you want to keep the stone lubricated and cleaned off. Get that slurry off there. And you can see here, I don't know, the lines are pretty faint, but I still have right in here the faintest graph and a little bit right there, but everything else is gone. So I think, yeah, we were a little low on the ends. See what we got here. It looks like all of our graph lines are gone, so it means the stone is flat. So I think I do want to do this side. Leave these in water, that way they're ready to go. We're going to do the buck. I think the buck is actually fairly sharp. And not too bad, so let's dull it. Let's just grab a screwdriver handle, and we're going to roll the edge. Ladies, avert your eyes. Oh, yeah. All right, so we dulled it up pretty good. The things I do for you. Now, I am not too keen on this. It came with an angle guide, but if you look here, it just It just doesn't quite, it doesn't do it for me. But I got this thing. I'll put a link to all this stuff below if you're interested in it. Move the camera here so you can see a little bit better. But I got, you know how I like the Work Sharp because it has these little guides? Well, it has these are Sharpal guides. I think the pair is like $5, maybe a little less than that. And they have a 20 degree, 17, 14, and 25. They have a non-skid base. Actually, I think this is a non-skid base. This is a magnetic base. So if you're using a diamond stone, this will stick right to it. I use it with much success. So I think we'll just use this with a 20 degree guide. And now it's basically kind of like a Work Sharp. And that's not going anywhere. Of course, you can also use the little rubber foot. It came with it, might as well use it, right? And we're going to go on the 400 grit. And we're going to go off the 20 degree guide. All you're going to do is you're just going to line up your knife with that 20 degree guide, just like that. And try to hold that angle consistently across the stone. So I've set it on the back half here. I'll hold it down. And we're going to go with 1,000 grit next. Somebody might ask why am I going each way? You can go right. You know, I like going this way because that's what I'm used to, again, with the Work Sharp. But you can go this way and then flip and go do the stranger with the left hand. Anyway, it feels like somebody else is sharpening your knives. But this one works for me. Again, everybody has a different way. I mean, you can ask 10 different people how they're going to sharpen their knives with the exact same whetstone, and 10 different people are going to give you 10 different answers. And that's okay. Do what makes you comfortable, right? As long as you get results, that's all that really matters, right? So now we're going to go with the 3,000 grit stone. I'm just using pretty light pressure. The stone seems to be doing quite a bit of cutting. So I'm just going to use, you know, moderate to light pressure. I'm digging it so far. Now, how does this compare? You know, I have some nice stones. This is a Norton combination stone, 220. You can see there's not a whole lot of 220 left. Again, I've had this close to 3 decades. And 2 decades. What am I talking about? I'm not that old. Yeah, about 20 years I've had this stone. And it's got 1,000 grit. And then I use this, you know, I've been talking about the king stones. You see there? A little king stone, Japanese stone. And this one, again, this is well loved. This is 804,000. So that would be comparable to something like this. You know, 220, 800, 1,000, 4,000. And then I have a, you know, 6,000 and an 8,000 as well. Now let's put this back in the water. Make sure we're good and lubricated. Move that out of the way here. Let's try the 8,000. Let's see what kind of results we get. All right. Yeah. I think that's feeling pretty good. I'm going to dry off the blade here. We'll take a look at it so you can see. Yeah, I think the edge looks pretty keen there. Definitely serviceable. Now we got the leather strop. I'm going to move this out of the way. All right. We're going to try the strop again. This time we're going to use some green honing compound. Had to go find it. I'll put a link below to this stuff. If you're interested. We'll see if it works first. We'll try this here. I'm just going to put a little bit on. I'm going to try this side. Yeah, I've never used a strop like this, so not really sure what the answer is. I think the answer is just to use my other strop, but that's not the purpose of this video. And then we'll use a little white petroleum jelly. You can also use Vaseline too. Now let's try it. Ooh. Almost got a little nick there. I think we're getting somewhere. Almost need to hang it from something. I'm only really able to work the one edge because of the blade geometry. I can't get this bottom corner. At least not here. Have to move the camera. We're already too far into this. No turning back now. Let's clean this off and let's check. Ooh, yeah, we're sharp. But I sharpened skates last work sharper Wednesday, so I have a little bit of hair back. Let's see how we do here. Oh yeah. I bet you can hear that. Oh yeah. There you go. So what do we think? The HMPLL Complete Professional Knife Sharpening Stone Set. Is it worth it? Yeah, I think so. For 25 bucks, you know, if you're new to sharpening and just want to see if you like it or if you get good results, I think this is definitely a serviceable set. Again, it comes with everything you need, and even some stuff that I don't know if you do need. What would I change if I were to do this? Well, you can attempt the honing guide, but I think if you want to get consistent results sharpening your knife, one of these Sharpels, you know, again, for just a couple bucks, less than the price of a Big Mac nowadays, you can get these and you can get consistent results. Get you pretty close to the work sharper system. The stones, yeah, the stones are decent. Do we have to do a little work on them? Absolutely we did, especially those lower grit stones. But they give you a flattening stone. And again, the flattening stone, we checked and it was pretty daggum flat. Thought it did a really good job. So do I recommend the HMPLL Complete Professional Knife Sharpening Stone Set? Yeah, I think I do. It's good to have around. Like I said, if you're on a budget or if you got, you know, you want to have an extra set, even if you're a woodworker, I think this would be great for chisels. If you have a budget shop, it's great. So anyway, hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, as always, put them down in the comments below. I try to answer all the questions that you write down there. And thanks for watching.